Hello there again. This is Al, and this will be another installment in the C++ series, where I actually found a few little things that I wanted to get done, and maybe the method of doing these things might be instructive. See, I have this little program called Text Encryptor, and this is under my previous source directory. Now this thing uses the MFC C dialog, see? And it uses some MFC stuff like C map string to string, combo box, all those various things. And there's this data exchange and blah blah blah. Well, I want to use MFC. It's a pretty simple program. I can show you how it works. What it is you set up an any file, So now there's the usual 20 minutes of it not working and me trying to figure out why. So cut that bit out. I'll have to reinsert that there is a config file which defines a mapping from letters, normal Roman letters on one side, and what appears to be, but in fact are not the same ones on the other side. Well, actually, I don't like this particular mapping. Yeah, I can fix that one. Then I'm looking at L. Do without so you'll notice, suppose I search for the letter A, not case sensitive. There's one, there's another one, there's another one. You'll notice that now the left-hand side A's are there, and you won't find that for any letter of the alphabet. Some of the ones I found, I can't remember how I found them. This E, for instance, is so similar looking to a regular E. I don't know where I found it. No, even know the code. Anyway, following this will be a small demonstration of how the program works and how it could be useful in at least one scenario. Okay. I don't want precise. Alright. See? Can't find it. There are two reasons there are several reasons I want to change this. For one thing, I would like to be able to post things like URLs in comments on YouTube. Like, here, suppose I want to post, that here. Alright. Okay, no problem. But the thing is, this person now reading this has to type it back. So what I wanted was a reverse thing. It turns it back into English again. So now I can go and type it in, if there is such a number. But, so that's one thing. And the other thing is that I wanted it to be able to use UTF-8. The other one, you'll notice, was 6K, and this is only 3K, because it's using UTF-8, one and only way to encode strings or text or whatever on the internet. Now, but here I've got this thing, and it's using all this MFC stuff that I don't want. Well, now I'm back to where I was. I'm back in source 3 land. I got C dialog and C string, and I got C map string to string, which was where I had my bug, and a bunch of other problems. And C reg key, but I've got a reg key thing, and I've got a string thing, and I've got something like this format, and I've got a dialog class, and I can do get text. The only thing that's missing, really, is this thing, which is like an associative array, where the key value is a string, and the resulting value is also a string. Now this is using MFC's thing, which I don't know how fast it is. I tested the STL one, it's lightning fast. But look at my file. I don't need speed here, right? All I need is just a lookup. So like that. And in fact, it's quite simple now, simpler than it was before. To do the reverse mapping, I just keep a one for one direction and one for another direction. No problem. So this is the header for my encryptor dialog. And so the Windows program. I use the registry to save, for instance, it remembers where it was, or if I have this on, it should remember that thing, or the value, the scheme that I've chosen should be remembered. So now I like to put those things in the registry. Now one way to do that is just to simply derive from the registry class and give it some kind of name. And the way I typically do it, and I think this is a good idea in general, is I add a version resource. We'll just do the interface for my project, my program, and I use the product name for the key, the registry key. So, you could just use any string you want. I find this to be I don't know. I like the fact that it's linked sort of with the product name, and I won't make a mistake. But you don't have to do that. Why the string table? That probably occurred because I added this version thing. I added an icon, by the way, you may have noticed, that didn't work until I used that magic program to fix it. It's funny though about this icon, I'm not sure if that's really, see, like, these ones have their icons, and maybe I need a bigger size one. These ones have their icons in the corner, and according to this is just a standard icon. I think I don't have my icon. It's probably, what have I got here? Maybe I can add a bigger one. What have I got? I think that's definitely 32 by 32. I could add this maybe and sort of stretch, copy. Where'd the other one go? I don't like that change. That was not a good idea. Blah, blah, blah. Undo check-in. Okay, anyway, enough with the icon. Go in there. Okay. So I need a map string to string. So what I did was, well, in general, you want a good structure to have is something that takes in the brackets a string, and on the left hand side, or the right hand side, any kind of object. So that's easy enough to do if you don't care about optimization. And I don't care about optimization. First I had a case insensitive compare, and that was messing me up. So here is a struct inside of my object, which is a key value, which is a string, and equality for one of these objects means that the key names match exactly. Okay, and then some default constructing and so on and so forth. Now, on the hidden side, to add something to the map, given a key and an object, that could be a problem. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm just using a list. So what I have in my map, my map, where's my map? Fine. And here it is. It's a list of these things. So it's a list of these string to object structures. So now I search through the map and try to find the key value, and if I don't find it, then I make a new one with the key and the object value, and then add it to my map. Otherwise, I set at that position a new object that has the right key and the object value. Now, retrieving, there's two ways to get. One is a non-constant get, where you can actually set the value that's returned. So here is the non-constant version. Pass in a key, it searches through. If it doesn't find an object with that key, then it adds an object with that key and no value, and then returns what it locates. This is probably not very efficient. Instead of using plus equals, I think I have another add that returns the actual position of this, where this object was inserted. But instead, I search for the position, get the reference to the object of that position, and return the value part, which can be assigned. For a constant thing, if I don't find it, well, what can I do? I don't want to crash, so I just make a memory leak, I make a new object and return it, and that way it doesn't fail. You get something, you get a memory leak. If you try to look for something that's not there, and you don't want to disturb the object, well, I gotta return something. So return a memory leak. Otherwise, if I did find it, then the same as before. And there's the map. Now those I keep private because I want it to look like an array. So here I've just basically renamed those two functions. Delete, remove something at a position. Lookup is the way to properly check to see if there's a value at a particular key, and that will return true or false depending on whether or not it found an object corresponding to this particular string key. If it does find it, then it sets this reference value to whatever is at that position, otherwise nothing. So now map string to string is just a matter of mapping a string to object where the other object is a string. So now that part of MFC is solved. It's not fast, but it works. Now, how much time have I used? Alright. Now, initially I only had map of values. I didn't have map of keys, which might be why some things are missing out. But anyway, I derived from my famous dialog class reg. Now, these used to be Boolean values. These two were Boolean values, but I added a new control to my control things. And I already have a combo box for a combo box is one of these things. That's a combo box. This is an edit control. Okay. Now this is a new function. That returns either one or the other of these two maps. Depending on whether or not the randomized flag is set. Here's my dialog prop. Here's my special magic on control notify callback. This gets called back. These things, I haven't gone through all the stuff I did with the Windows code, the Windows mini code. These are all derived from something called a control. I have a thing called control, and you can register them. That's stir. If you register them, and something happens with regard to one of these controls, then this virtual function, this is virtual, which can be overridden, will get called, and the pointer that passed in will be ones that registered pointers, and you can decide what to do from there. And then these functions were from before. Now into the dialog. First, standard dialog thing. Here's my dialog. Come on. There it is. Okay. There really is a lack of vertical space in the world today. It's a dialog. Here's the code for the dialog. I register my controls. I set the text. This is only for Unicode, so there's no underscore keys. This number of changes is supposed to indicate how many letters have changed. A is a change, L is a change, A is a change, N is not a change. No, yes, no, no, yes. Okay. It's hard to see what that does. Okay. Here's the dialog prompt. As far as the constructor, first the dialog template ID, then I need to initialize the registry part of my object with something, and I have something called version info, which extracts information from one of these version things. In fact, it only extracts the one. but it's easy to get them all out. There's a method, it's quite easy to do. These are standard functions. There's a size associated with the version information. You need to give it a file name, allocate the size, and then you can look up various values using this var query value. It's a little bit like reg query value. The information part, where does that go? Where did it come from? Okay, so that's what we got initially. So that contains all the version information. This is a kind of like a path thing where you specify what you want. There can be various languages, so there's a little bit where you have to get a translation value and then try to figure out, which language you're using and so on and so forth. But you don't really need to go through very much trouble. It's always the same. It's always ANSI code page. Like, I don't know. Is this ready to go? Let's see what that comes out to. It'll look like something familiar. Code page 040904DO. Now that hive part 0409. That's 1033 for some reason. And 4BO. Okay. Oh, I see. Usually, Western European Windows is 1232, but I think this 1033 is a standard for English. Anyway, irrelevant. I get the value. I get the product name. Use that for my key. Register all these controls, and then just in my dialog proc. Here I've added, as I've been adding functions. This goes with the registry functionality. Restore and save window coordinates given a subkey. So I'm Alan debug in this case. Window pause is the subkey I gain. Just saves the numbers and another one to load. So as for the window position, I retrieve these values from the registry and set or not set the checked state of these controls based on that. And see how this is all just like using MFC, and there's really nothing to any of this code. I wish I had enough time to show you just how stupidly simple it is. The one thing that you might not know is that if you want to open a file that is in UTF-8 format and read it like a text file, you have to specify this CCS equals UTF-8 to tell fopen what kind of file it is, and then you just read it like a regular file. And you can save in the same manner. And so now I read in the entire file, and now I go line by line, examining each line. If I get, this is a standard ini file thing. Look for an open bracket. Once you got an open bracket, try to extract the name. Then close bracket, let's see the name. And I added these special characters for the YouTube thing as valid characters. Now this might not be correct. This is what I had originally, that the map of the left-hand side is equal to the right, and I'm saying that the reverse map of the right-hand side is equal to the left, which does seem to work though. Only, wasn't there a problem with... No, it seems okay. One of my favorite ones is Precision Greek. The reason why this one is great is that's P in Greek. A thing that looks like a P is a row. That's a sigma, a little sigma. That's a mu. Why is it great? That's a gamma, rho, epsilon, alpha, tau. That, because, did you see what happened? Because it has double things. See, that's a capital theta, and so it transcribed capital TH to a capital theta. But the small one gives you a small theta, and they also have an F sound, which is phi. So I can say figure is, and if I wanted to, I could say I could say C for Philadelphia. See what I'm saying? No, I don't know about this decrypt. It works. Yeah, so multiple things is quite good. It's just for fun. I like to have fun. What else? TH. That is P. See now, P can be a pi. F can be a phi, But if I put an H here, I get two fees. No, that's a bit of a problem. But anyway, who cares? What else? What else in Greek? No. There's a double. Oh, PS. Psi. Only if it's a capital. This Greek letter has a ps sound. Psi. I could make it smaller. And then we'll make a lowercase this. You never know. It worked. So that's the lowercase version of psi. So I could say like that, or like that, or like that. Lower and uppercase. Actually, it look the same, really. Oh, and then there's SH. No, I don't have an SH. Does anybody else have any W's? PH? Oh, I have P, a little P. Okay. It's okay. PH, capital PH. No, none of the others have anything cute like that. Randomize, all that does is, as you're typing, it just chooses a scheme at random for the encryption. So just adding a space changes it. You can get different combinations that you might find aesthetically pleasing. Okay. So the point is that anything I can do with MFC, I can do with this. And now comes the next part in this, in my saga, which I'm going to end right now, but I'm just going to tell you that if you recall, there's this program, and whenever I do this, okay, and I want to select something in here, it turns out that there's a menu in the way, and I have to do Shift-Tab twice in order to get into this thing here, right? Now, that's already too much, because the worst thing is, if you don't do it twice, then you're stuck. If I do it once, okay, now I'm stuck on this thing, and I don't know, I have to exit the whole thing. So, big pain. And one of the things I noticed was that if you say list, then it's okay. And it remembers, but it doesn't remember forever. Eventually somebody else is going to come along, and that menu thing always comes back. So what I decided I want to do is do another one of those hacky things, hacking 101 class, and make another one of these hook things, and just use a specially designed open file dialog that I designed all by myself. All the code's in this one file, and separate it. That looks like this. Okay. Now, the great thing about this thing, for one, is that the extension, it remembers the extension. You can to fix that problem. You can navigate around the drive. Oh, no double click. If you could not double click, that's not going to work. I haven't set it up with that. But I certainly know I can't do that. But the thing is, you'll notice that the next time I come in, it's on exactly the same thing, right? And I only ever want to select usually one or another of those things, and usually at the same time. And it remembers. And if it weren't for the stupid recorder, I could navigate around the drive. You can even change drives. This dialog. Now, to me, that's a perfect open file dialog. I can use star.star if I want, but I don't want. I only want a particular type of file. So I want to override their dialog, this dialog, and that will reduce the number of things I have to press by at least five keystrokes, plus the impossibility of making a mistake. However, unfortunately, all of this stuff is using that in our stuff, which is using static linking. So now I've made a new project called Work B. Wherein these are now DLLs. See? Well, let's go to this one basic thing. If you look at the call stack here, when I press F8, see, now it's common DLL. So all those little static libs can now be dynamic libraries. And what that means is that I can use the dynamic library version of the runtime, runtime library, and I know for a fact that program doesn't use that. Even if it did, it doesn't matter, because we would all be sharing the same runtime library if it were of the same brand, like if it were Unicode something or other. It's going to be using the same heaps, and there's not going to be any problems. Share. So now I have to transfer everything that I need into being DLLs instead of libs. And that has some advantages. For one thing, the files are smaller. See how small these are? Instead of 100 something or other K, it's only a couple bytes. Now I can, within my hooking DLL, I can use the runtime library, and I can use all of our stuff. Okay, well, I'll tell you more about how that's going along later. See you.